And welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast, Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance. And I'm your host, Mark Jones. And today we're going to be talking about some real stuff that comes up in our market that most people don't pipe up about. But recently we had an agent, a veteran agent that called out the BS for what it is. So let's be real. Join into the conversation and let's get started. So I'm going to first introduce our guest today, and I'm going to introduce the first guest, Cesar Amezcua.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic.
You nailed it.
Yes.
There we go. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Next guest is going to be Josh Boggs. Josh, how are you?
It's not as pretty as a name as that, but yeah, I'll take it. Yes. It's great to be back on the podcast.
Amen.
Love it. You guys always kill it. So yes, very, very honored.
Love it. Moses Thatcher. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. Back to be here as well, too. I like the new office.
Yes, the new dig. So at the beginning of every show, I want you guys to give a couple minutes to tell our audience who you are, why they should be listening to you on this discussion today. Who wants to start?
I guess the veteran, right?
Let's do it. Yeah,
veteran.
age before beauty.
I start by 2 years.
2 years. Age before beauty.
Yeah, and definitely not beauty here. So Josh Boggs, owner of Exposed Homes Group, broker here at Keller Williams Heritage. Been in the business 20 years. Wow. I've been through it. I think we were just talking about it when the market crashed in '08. Like, we grew up in it. We were born with it. So we're Bane. We're like, some adapt. We were raised in this, right? So we get it. We're seeing a little bit of indicators lately on some of those things. I started a company called the Tall Short Sell Guy. And to date, we've done over 652 short sales, pre-foreclosures. And so I think we are the number one pre-foreclosure or homeowner advocates against foreclosure in all South Texas. So it's been very blessed.
What an accomplishment.
Yep. Amazing wife that works with me. Amazing partner, Diana Martinez. She's been phenomenal. And then we have two support staff as well. So we've been very blessed and just kicking it and just loving San Antonio.
Awesome. You ever worry or have a fear of somebody coming up with the short sale?
Oh yeah, well there was a guy that we joked about
the
that.
mold.
There was a guy named Mike Tachoa, rest in peace. Love that guy. He was a good buddy of mine. He was short, and we'd always make jokes like, I'm the tall short side guy. He's the short side. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, good.
All right, who's next? Moses.
Yep. Moses Thatcher Realty Group. Brokered with Real Broker. Business for 9 years now. Been privileged to know Josh for a very long time, since like day one when I was greening behind the ears. And now I'm just like, we're weeding through the business. So like, they've lived it. This is me just surviving every day. You're like the guy who just shows up every day and you're like, all right, let's do this again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun.
That's awesome. Cesar, how about yourself, brother?
Cesar Amezcua, broker, CA and Company Realtors, proudly independent, been independent since 2013 now.
Okay.
Company's been open for, what is that? 12 years.
Yeah.
This July.
Yeah.
Partner at New World Title with a bunch of great guys over there.
Yeah.
You know, you've had Jeff Garza over here.
Absolutely. That's my dude.
Rob, Mo. And been in the business, like I said, 17 years. Got my license literally as the world was catching on fire in 2007.
Yeah.
And I was raised in this market. That's why we've had, very, very good years the past couple of years. Obviously, COVID was, I think I broke every record known to man in like 9 months, because I was like, oh, is it this easy? But, it was our first run. I don't think we've ever I never had a run.
I never had a run like that before it happened.
It was our first run. And you talk to some OGs that have been in the business for 30 years, like, oh, that's a run.
And now I must say, me being on the lending side, you guys on the real estate side, I've heard it since I got into the business that you'd have been retired if you'd have gotten the business earlier on. And that concept of, well, the lenders kind of had a heyday for quite some time. Then CFPB regulations came in, put us in check, which they should have. Yeah. I got in the business after that. Don't know the bad habits, but the idea of having that heyday, it's like, well, the lenders got to have that again, if that makes sense. And it was true, and versus some made up fictitious press here, breathe on a mirror all that kind of stuff, get a loan.
I have a friend that we went to college together, and he got into mortgage, I want to say 3 years before I got into real estate. And I think in 3 years, he was probably clearing for a solid 3 years, he was probably clearing 50 to 60,000 a month.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to that scene from The Big Short.
Absolutely.
When they're meeting with the mortgage guys.
Yep.
And
Everything's panicking.
yeah, it's like, you know, how when they're meeting the two guys, like,
Yeah,
are you
so
going
guys
to
been
recruiting us?
racing,
It's like,
We're gonna get a boat, right?
you know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He's like, I was a bartender last year. Now I own a boat.
That's right.
Sounds like realtors now. No, I'm just kidding.
But I guess what I was leading to with that is the idea of when those types of markets happen, and very rare that it happens. What we saw was an influx of realtors, an influx of lenders jumping into our industry. And me as a veteran expert / leader mentor, I'm all for people jumping into the industry. But a matter of fact, I think you guys said it a while ago, is the idea of being a glorified hobby or an expensive hobby. And I think that is what it has turned into, but that's another discussion, but we can get back to that a little bit later. The reason for this discussion was brought about and inspired by a post that Josh shared. And I want to kick this off with sharing the post for our viewers to see, if that's okay with you, Josh.
Go for it. I saw it up there.
Let's see here.
It's out
click
there.
the link. Let's
Interwebs
go.
have it. Can't pull it back now.
He chose violence that
That's
day.
right.
Show
Violence. I put it on.
violence. That's awesome.
Shouldn't be lifting and posting at the same time.
See, quick time.
Double
player.
pre-workout and just said scorched earth.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's go it.
That up. Okay. So, JC, can you see what's on the screen? How about that? Okay. So it starts with the following post that he shared. And this gentleman is talking about Lennar. And I'll just read it real quick. Lennar is the latest big builder to signal that they can't afford to keep massive incentives. Here's what that means for you and your clients. Last quarter, Lennar, one of the nation's biggest home builders, spent 14.3% of their sales price on buyers' incentives just to keep the deals moving. That means on a $450,000 home, they're giving away $64,350 in discounts, buy down of mortgage rates, concessions, etc. Their CEO just said they can't keep it up after hitting their lowest margin since 2009, right after that crash. Lennar just told their stockholders that they're pulling back on incentives in their latest quarterly report. Translation: the era of huge builder concessions may be ending. If Lennar is saying that they're cutting back, expect all the big builders, DR, Pulte, etc., to do the same. Why it matters to you as an agent: less leverage for buyers. Don't assume today's incentives will still be there in a few months. Higher out-of-pocket costs ahead. If builders tighten up, buyers may need to rely more on you and us to structure creative financing solutions. Urgency is back. Buyers sitting on the sidelines might miss the window where builders are practically giving away money. Bottom line, now that it's time to reach out to your clients, let them know that builders' generosity won't last forever. Also show them how VA, FHA, and conventional loan structure can help them secure the right home before those incentives dry up. Now, this was a post. Let me go to yours, if you don't mind. Let's see here, Josh. Boom. Let's go. Bang, bang, bang. And Josh posts a lot, just like I
got
do.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we must
Got to
keep it
go
up.
through those.
How's
We
Indy?
must keep it
Andy was
up.
awesome, by the way. Need to bring that up, actually.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Is that it?
Was that it?
Yeah, that's
right
the
there.
one.
That's it.
Josh, can you see it from there?
Barely, man. I got bad eyes, bro. I've had so much surgery done,
does.
so it's been rowdy. I guess I don't know. It doesn't need to be plugged in. Yeah, let me.
Does need to stay plugged in if possible. I don't know
I
if you
can
can
move
read.
my mic here.
Yeah.
By the
All
way,
right.
as just throwing it out there, has anybody ever seen Josh with glasses?
No.
Yeah, I hide it very well, guys, by the way.
Yes.
Really?
Cesar, I hide it very well. I actually
know.
have glasses at night because I can't even drive at night without glasses now. It's bad. So, yeah.
Getting to the age.
The rest of humanity calls them binoculars.
Guys, I've been accident prone, all right? I lost retinas. I had retina damage. So, yeah, it's been a journey. So, I feel like.
But he's still standing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I feel like you guys set me up to stab myself here in front of you guys on this. But so basically, what I want to say too, because
read it from here.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, if I can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. What I want to say before I say this, actually, I was actually appreciative of PJ's post. I was not torching him at all. So I hope anybody that saw that or thought that, because I didn't think that. I thought, oh man, I'm sharing his post to ramp up what I wanted to say. So here was my post. Over the last 8 months, I've watched so many realtors brag about all these new home sales they have been doing and that they even bought their clients big closing gifts. Well, here's the skinny beyond all the stuff that you won't hear from most. On new builds, like some of the ones mentioned here, they were offering up to 6% commission to the agents on top of buying down interest rates, all to inflate sales prices, even during a downturn market. What that has meant for so many of y'all rushing to meet with these realtors, they say they can offer these incredible values, is that they have been putting you into a negative equity situation for the next 5 to 7 years. Yes, hear that again, ... 5 to 7 years. Don't believe me, say in the last 24 months, we've had more homeowners come to us to save them from foreclosure because they bought brand new. Their agent made out like a bandit and did basically very little work and didn't warn them that the interest rates were only buy down rates or could change for a few years and then adjusted back along with higher rates and higher insurance premiums, coupled with the fact that the builder is still building and can offer $45K of incentives on new builds on a $240,000 price home. Yes, it's happening, and you can't compete at all to sell or even rent it out. So what has fascinated me in this business for 20 years is that when I see buyers just flock in droves to realtors that are on social media posting about the $800 closing gifts they just got their clients when they just made a whopping $22,000 commission check off them. This is not only puts these clients in incredibly tough situations to be a homeowner in the long run, but also highly encourages the use of no negotiations, no market data or interpretation of the data, and even little to zero contract work done. Yes, the on-site sales offices do this for the realtor as well. At the end of the day, if this sounds like a rant, it is. And I know some may wildly oppose this view. And so I'd love to hear from those agents. Not at all saying that there still isn't a lot of supporting work and assistance on experience an experienced agent can provide in dealing with the new build. Not at all. What I'm saying is before you allow the bright and flashy shiny objects, some hang in front of you, get the homework done and research first to understand just what is all going into your home purchase and know your end game before going in. That's key. Rant over.
Very key.
Boy,
that's very key. No, thank you for that. And I want to give perspective to that, or to this whole conversation. And that's what kicked this off. And the last thing is just showing the comments and notice, I see a trend when I look at these comments. And I'm not going to mention the comments. I'm just going to see if there's a trend that is noticed. I'm noticing the ones that are commenting positively and saying, yes, good job, correct, all that good stuff are all veterans in the business.
Yeah.
They were all veterans that have their business secured. Maybe they've had tough times, etc., but they are still ones that abide by their fiduciary responsibility of their client. So you can kill that, JC. I just wanted to give light to that as we open the floor up in the first question. Do you guys believe that this is it shame on builder for doing this? Shame on realtor? Shame on both? Or what do you believe there? Because there's no real right answer here.
So just to be clear,
Cesar, give me
100%. I am 100% pro builder. Okay. I love doing new homes. We represent a builder here in town. Shout out to Starlight Homes. And this is not, against
bash
builder.
The builder.
Don't bash the builder. They're a business. They're trying to stay open. We all remember in 2008, who's ever seen a Connell Barron home? Who's ever seen what was it? A new New Craft,
New Leaf.
no,
New
New
Leaf
Leaf
was
got in trouble for different reasons.
A lot of them did.
Yeah, a lot of builders did not survive, the crash,
Right.
and they were really good builders, and they did not survive the crash. So I understand what builders are doing. Builders are just trying to survive.
Right.
Some of them, I've done a deal with a very, very great, amazing builder that I love, and at the end of the day, the sales rep said, "Hey, we made $1,000 on this, on a $700,000 home. We made $1,000, dude. Like you beat us up, but we're just trying to keep the doors open." So
Wow.
it's not builders, being mean builder. It's my issue is, like you said, we have fiduciary duty. Every time we go to a builder, every time I need to know the cash value. What's the cash price? Give me the cash price.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
Give me the
because
cash
you're right.
price.
Yes.
What is the cash price? I all my people that buy a brand new home know their cash price. That means no incentives, no buy downs, no nothing. What does that look like for your community? And we work with many builders here in town, and it's simple. You just have to inform your people of what they're getting themselves into, and that they're in it for the long haul. I pulled a post. I was doing some research last night, and I pulled a post from an agent. And I'm going to read it for Josh.
If you want to take a screenshot or something and share it to me, I can throw it up on the screen.
No, I don't want to, because it's a very no. I don't want to.
Doesn't want to put him out of blast. See,
I don't want to start.
I'm going on blast. So
I don't want to start.
Yeah.
So
for a good cause.
Yeah.
So it's an agent, dancing in front of a house. Okay.
And we talked about this two episodes ago.
Yeah, it's an agent dancing in front of a house, happy. And says, hey, anybody PCSing soon?
Wow.
Go to Josh right now. Go to his face, okay?
All right.
Buy downs, all appliances, 3.99% interest rate. Ready to start your home journey? Give me a call. We can get you all the deals. This is going, and this has a ridiculous amount of views.
Yeah.
PCSing. What are we looking at?
Temporary? How many years?
I'm already sick.
Well, it has multi-layers, and I'm about to go to Josh, but there's one that probably won't be discussed that I'll give light to, and a good buddy of mine, John Hudson, talk about it all the time, is seeing sales counselors, realtors posting about interest rates, posting about different programs, and not actually being licensed to do so. And they're getting a ton of exposure for it, and it hurts everyone in the transaction. Your lender that they actually go to, the expectations of the buyer when they get the real deal. All of these things. But go for it, Josh.
Well, you just started it up, and I love it. So here's the issue. I'm a very strong proponent for our military. I'm going to defend them everything I could. I did not get to sign on the dotted line, so because of that, a lot of my family did. I'm always really there to support our military first and foremost. And since we're Military USA, we have most of the military here, right? And that's a lot of the clients I see in front of me now on the pre-foreclosure side, because they still are active duty. You can still get PCS'd out. Yeah. And when they're buying new builds with all of these incentives, and these realtors bragged about all this cool shit they could give them, and they see the flashy object, again, that's what my post is about. They just jump right into it. They don't understand their end game. They don't understand that their rental possibilities are gone, because they got to subsidize $1,000, $1,200 a month just for the rental side now.
Yeah.
And then they move over. They're like, well, I guess I'm going to have to be on base, and I can't even still afford to cover the subsidized rent on this one. So what am I going to do? Guess what? It's coming back to us, and now the VA. And a lot of us, we can't save some of it too, right? The VA is just like, look, man, it is what it is.
Too much.
Too much. And you got to have buyers. And at the end of the day, you can't get buyers if new home sales are still kicking everybody's butt.
So true.
Right. So I'm glad you said that, because I want you guys everybody to put me on stand. I am not anti-builder either. Let me make sure that I'm very clear with that.
Right.
And again, my post, I know I'm very guilty sometimes of just going all out and not covering everything, because I don't really try to sugarcoat it sometimes. But yeah, new builds are they're trying to stay in business well, and they're trying to do things well. Look, there was a builder we all know, and we all know who that was. As soon as COVID hit and the market was good, they cut all real estate commissions. They were screwing realtors over left and right. all the realtors were bitching behind the scenes to the clients, like, oh, I'm not going to ever push the client, blah, blah, blah. And then you watch them do that. And all of a sudden the builders just flip a switch like, oh, well, now we're going to
4% incentive. Yeah, 6% incentive.
And they're like, oh, they're amazing. I
We're
can't
back.
wait. So, right?
We are so back.
Yeah, guys. And I just, I call my company Exposed Homes for a reason. And I know all three of us, I'm all four of us, we're just so amazing to sit together because we all know we have the same ethics and the same morals when we run our business. But I tell people I'm going to expose them to all the options and explain to them the pros and cons, right? Because if I'm just a rah-rah guy behind anybody that I get behind, then I'm going to screw somebody because I didn't look at all the options for them.
You'll be blindsided.
And with that post, like you said, the experienced agents were the most ones to comment. And you're right, they got behind it. And Moses and I were joking too. We're like, man, we don't want to sound like the old guys in the room. Like, oh, you whippersnappers are dancing and getting these. But the market has changed because there's not a lot of knowledge and experience, just like you talked about how agents are throwing interest rates and all these buyer lender incentives when they don't even know what they're talking about or they're licensed to do so. And yet nobody's smacking them on the hand. They'll say, hey, you can't do that. You're going to get fined. So everybody's at the wild, wild west. Let me go on TikTok and dance with it, some music, and I get 300,000 views. Yeah. And now I've got 10 clients because of my TikTok.
Yeah. And it's almost as if they're waving it in your face. Like, I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, but look at get me business.
But she's dancing. How do you say?
As long as she's cute, right?
She's dancing.
If I go dance, it's not going to be of the same effect.
Right, exactly.
I know.
So and I'll let you jump in, but I want people to understand the concept of what the builder's doing before we move forward, and in the sense that, is it unethical? I don't believe so. I think it's an opportunity that is afforded to them because what they are taking the risk on in building out an entire neighborhood, having control over that entire neighborhood and the values. Is it wrong, right, indifferent? Well, they're the ones that took the risk to buy that neighborhood, to develop that land, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to compare it to every pre-owned deal that we do that the buyer doesn't have enough closing cost and we raise the sales price. We just happen to only be able to raise the sales price so much because that neighborhood's already established with the comparables. Whereas new construction, well, that one appraised for 350. Let's try for 355 this time. Boom, we got it. And it's gradually being raised. And matter of fact, if they didn't appraise, no one could move forward. Technically, Go for it, Moses.
When it comes down to it, it's hard conversations that are not being had. Yeah. We got to offer some sort of value to what we do. And the value's kind of going out the window in my eyes. Mm-hmm. And I'm pro doing what works for my client. Mm-hmm. So would I have to have a conversation? I've got my sister in a Lennar home. I'm not fond of it, of the builder, because of, so we all know it, but it checked the boxes for my sister and it fit her budget.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much her only option. But that's a conversation you have to have. Hey, here's the pros and cons of this. And so instead of finding the easiest way or like, hey, let's follow the bright lights, talk to your clients and have this conversation. The last 3 deals that I've done are all pre-owned. We've gotten $9,000 in closing costs off, $12,000, $14,000, all the additional money we use to buy down closing costs. Right. And you're going into instant equity. But are you having that conversation because I don't want to show 12 houses? Or is it easier because I could go up to 11 and get you into a house to
hand them off
to walk you into? Then you brag about it.
Right.
The sales could let the sales consultant just don't mess up the deal, and the sales consultant will car sales you, and which is you're good at. If you're good at it, you're good at it. So it's not a bad thing. The problem is, I believe you're not having the conversations because we get those phone calls, which you touch base on. It's this. You got to know what product fits your buyer and what their end game is. Because you tell your clients you live in your first house from 5 to 7 years, you outgrow it, your family changes, your income situation changes. You may need to just move the city.
Right.
Then you just, hey, let me cash out on this equity and go. You can't have that conversation with someone who's going into a new home build right now,
right?
Which is not bad, but you got to let them know, like, hey, you're not going to be gaining equity because the same floor plan you just bought is being sold 4 streets over a year later for $30,000 less than what you bought it for.
Yeah.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because I teach clients, we all do, purchasing your first house is one of the biggest investments, obviously, you're going to make, but also one of the best investments is you're going to make. As long as you don't run your house to the ground, it's going to gain equity.
Yeah.
and it's
Over
not happening.
time.
It's not happening with new home builds as fast
As quickly.
as fast as we're used to.
And I guess I'd like to go over that. Let's hone in on that concept, because there are still folks out there that don't get that, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of why it takes a little bit longer for the new construction home to catch up to what the true value of the market is. Does anybody want to jump in on that?
Let's go into the X's and O's
Yeah.
of it at a fifth
There
grade
we
level.
go. Yes.
Okay?
In the sand, baby.
Yes. So builder A offers a house that's worth $300,000, right? But sadly, because of the economy, because of interest rates, we're in a payment economy.
Yeah.
Which, what can you afford per month?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, you know, you got your buyers. I'm pre-qualified for $300,000. Let's go shop for $300,000.
Yep.
But $300,000 over by UTSA is completely different than if you go on Tally Road,
Yeah.
or 211.
Mhm.
Those $300,000 can get you a lot more
Oh,
house
absolutely.
and get you a great payment and everything brand new. 1 year bumper to bumper, 2 year mechanical, 10-year structural. It's fantastic.
You're right.
You know, so it just depends on the goals for that buyer. But we are in a payment economy. They need to have a certain payment per month, and they're tired of living in the apartment. They're tired of living in the rental. They're tired of living in the first home, you know, that they've outgrown. So what is our option? Like we can't take them to a bigger house over in 78249 and
I would actually go as far, and this isn't to contradict what you're saying, but to clarify, we've always been a payment economy. This is America, where we live on credit. We live on the next budget, the next month to month. We've got 80% of Americans that maybe have 2 months of savings together.
Yeah.
And that concept in itself, I'm not, like I said, I don't want to contradict what you're saying, because you are right. It's always
it's just
the ability to achieve that payment has been a lot tougher. And I think the idea of how we continue is to educate. But I think it starts with the educators first, then moving on to what they're educating on. I mean, you yourself, if you've jumped in the business 2021, you sold a bunch of houses. Now it's like, holy cow, I'm trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
Oh, new homes. I can keep paying my bills because of new homes. Do you really even have the time to understand, comprehend, wrap your head around the idea of having that conversation with your client?
I don't think a lot of agents do. You know, it's simple. You know, it's worth $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
The financing is going to cost you X.
Yep.
Obviously, the builder already started working on, starting a community. It's a big risk, because you have to establish the values with all the incentives that you're giving. At 3.99 will run you what, $18,000 right now, plus closing costs. You're looking at another $8,000. So that's what, 26
Something. Yeah.
26 plus a title policy. So that $300,000 home is now having to be priced at, 326 to 330 to cover for everything. And then they're throwing in the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, the blinds. So, but they establish that neighborhood. And once it's established, appraisers come around and they see, okay, there's comparable sales. That's great. But at the end of the day, it's still a $300,000 home. Now, that's not a bad thing. If you explain to your client, this is a $300,000 home, but your financing is going to cost you X amount of dollars. And for the market to catch up to you at that 326, 5 to 7 years, you have to be here 5 to 7 years. If life changes, if you're PCSing and you're going to be here for 3 years, walk out. This is not for you. I put military in rentals this year.
But Cesar, you're going to lose a client.
But I mean, the F word, man, fiduciary. I mean,
Oh, that one.
Both of them. I mean, I can use them in conjunction, but you have to be a fiduciary whether you get the commission or not. Now, as far as the market goes, with the agents that we have, I think we have about 1,800 to 2,000 agents holding
Just
up our
here, yeah.
market, holding up our whole market. Okay, go into broker metrics and do a little bit of research, and you're going to be shocked at how many agents have either 1 or 0 transactions.
I'm not.
Oh no, I'm not shocked. Yeah,
And we're there's about 1,800 to 2,000 agents that are holding up the whole market of the 7th largest city in America. Now, a lot of them, yes, they started in 2020, 2021, 2022, and dollars are falling from the sky.
Yep.
And it's a cycle. This is part of the cycle. I'm sure back in 05, 06, 07, there was a lot of builder action.
Yeah.
I got in 08. I didn't show a brand new home until 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because it was
tough to sell.
It was tough to sell because there were so many deals. We had interest rates in the 4s. There's so many deals, interest rate in the 4s. Insurance was still manageable, and you wouldn't even bother to go into a new build, and unless the client requested it, but you wouldn't even think about it. But now we're up to that point where the agents don't have the skill set to go and structure a good financing deal, to go and shop, to go and try to find something for that particular client. Like you said, you just go up to 11, hand them off to one of your favorite sales reps, and just kind of watch from the sidelines, and boom, 6% commission. And that's the part. That's why we're here, because there's so many people on social media making it seem like it's cool to do that.
It's sexy.
Yeah, sexy. And you have all these gifts and the flat screen. So one person giving out cash, straight out cash. You're a lender. Tell me, how legal is that?
Zero legal.
Zero. $100 bills on camera, shave, like, here you go. And yes,
Wild
as
West.
a broker, I've been a broker since I was 29. I'm just like pulling my hair out. I'm like, who's supervising this person?
Right.
And again, not hating on the hustle. I'm not. Okay. You got to hustle. You got to do what you got to do. You got to pay your bills. But at the same time, if you're screwing people over, come on.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I got to add to this because he just mentioned the F word, fiduciary, but he was doing the math, right? Cesar's doing the math. I appreciate it. But there's also a keyword, quality. You are grossly taking away quality when you're having to cut costs that much. He just brought it up, made perfect sense. If a builder has $28,000 of closing costs just to get the damn house sold, and then they got to go through and buy and build the damn thing and develop everything, to where are they cutting that cost, right? And that's the conversation you have to have with your clients, because but back when I started too, builders weren't cutting nearly those kind of qualities. There was one that did, and we all knew that, and they were gone. Fieldstone. They showed up as a box. It was a freaking insulated box, and it was shit junk. And I kept telling everybody, LGI, I don't mind. I don't care. They hate me, and I don't sell them. So
I've never sold an LGI home in my career. I'm proud to say that.
I think we know that. I think we know why, right? And so, but what I'm getting at is there's even builders that I won't mention that I know were really good, that I know the contract managers that are having, the corporate guys are like, hey, you need to cut them down to 15% on all contractors. They get them done, and then they just came back again and said, guess what? Now you need another 10%. 25% of their cost. How are those guys going to do it, right? Now electricians using copper clad.
Yeah. I
don't know if anybody talks about that. Copper clad, what is that? It's aluminum wiring just surrounded by a little bit of copper just to say it's still copper. Wow. But it when you bend it a couple of times, it breaks. Aluminum wire is very brittle. Wow. I know this because I talked to the contractors. So again, I know we're here to talk about, why we bring such great value to our clients, but these realtors don't even know what goes into building a home when they're out there, like Cesar said, showing dollar signs. At the end of the day, the consumer is just walking, just buying like, that looks good. We'll just go with this. But they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes to get that.
Right.
It's conversations, man. Like you just basically branch off of what you did. What year did we have the broker to broker agreement? 2 years, was it been already a year and a half?
Now we're almost
second year.
Yeah,
second year.
Yeah.
Mind blown is commissions have been negotiable since day one.
Yeah.
And you know why we got sued? Is because no realtor was talking to their sellers about it.
Yeah.
Everything's negotiable. When you tell you it's not, everyone's writing 6% down and hey, you got to pay the buyer, you got to pay the seller, or whatever it may be. We're not having conversations, and then and all of a sudden the world's burning like, oh my God, now the buyers, sellers are not going to pay commission now because they don't have to. Like, newsflash, they never had to. Now you got to bring value to it, but you've had to bring value since day one. And it branches off what you said is we're not having conversations about how the quality of the house is built, to what's your end game of how much this is going to cost you or what it's going to be. But it's bringing value to what we do. One day we're going to run into a buzzsaw of we're going to start getting slaps on the hands, and it's going to suck because we're talking about interest rates. We're giving money away, and we're flaunting it. Now, I think that's what kills it the most is that.
Well, look what happened the last time you guys got caught up in flaunting it, so to speak. They cut y'all's commissions real quick.
And that's what, and so when people were like, we've had to have meetings, we had to roll out the new broker to broker agreements, and everyone's like, what are we going to do? You think all the buyers are no one's going to want to sell. Sellers still need to sell their house.
That's right. That's right.
But the problem is, I'm like, man, we're having this conversation like we haven't been doing this since day one, since I've been in the business, and since y'all been in the business. Nothing's, we didn't reinvent the wheel. You just got to have those conversations with your sellers and say, hey, but we're not having those conversations. We're door openers. We're glorified door openers.
That's what it seems to have become if we're having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. So that's what it looks like. So people see this like, oh, I could do that.
Yes.
But then when it comes down to like, what value do you bring to the table other than, hey, I have a really good friend who sells for this community and so forth, and the conversations aren't there. And that's where it comes, where it looks like we lack any sort of like, you could trip over in 2021, you got in the business.
Yeah.
You could be the dumbest person in the world and you could trip over and you're going to land on 3 deals. Yeah. And now it's starting. Yes. And now it's starting. What I do love about this market is it's not fun. It hasn't been fun for us, but we've been around still. So we weeded through it, but it is absolutely weeding out the hobbies. Yeah. Like it's going to get to the point where you got to actually know what the hell you're talking about, and not based off of how many clicks you have, but actually what you're actually bringing to the table.
And Cesar, you mentioned cyclical type concept. And I believe now that you just said that this is another cycle of the hobbyists get out for a little while and let the market heat up again. And we unfortunately will have the same issue of new agents or unexperienced agents coming back to the market when it heats up again. And we'll be having this same conversation. Instead of being builders, it'll be about something else.
And that's one of my transactions. I'll never call another agent out just because we're all trying to survive. Like Cesar mentioned, one of my listings sold for $650,000. The agent very much made it very clear to me, I don't do this all the time. And can you help me do this contract? And in my head, I'm like, how did you land a $650,000 client?
The same way we just talked about.
And I'm thinking, I was like, I'm about to eat your lunch.
Yeah.
And that house was a beautiful house, but I knew for a fact, like, hey man, like we got to keep dropping the price because there is some deficiencies. And hey, I just really want this house to close. My clients like it. Everything's through virtual. So they're out of it.
They have no clue.
No clue. Yep. And I'm just like, get your inspection.
They have no clue that she has no clue.
Exactly. And then so she was very gladly took the $16,000 commission off it. And I was happy because I was like, hey man, we were still like $40,000 price improvement in the future because we know for sure we need to move this, but there's some deficiencies. Right. But I'm kudos to her for having the client. I'm glad she was able to make the money, and like I'm happy for her.
So that leads me to another question, and it's a little side topic, but relevant, still the same. The idea, and I call it pencil whipping, when you're on the other end of a transaction and the other person either doesn't catch something, doesn't go over it with their client, what have you, and just moves forward. Experience versus unexperienced. Even an experienced agent can get pencil whipped if they're not paying attention concept. I'm not saying it's a good, bad thing. Yep. It's just a thing. In those cases, do you think that is unethical to pencil whip another agent? And what I mean by that is,
no.
Let's say I'm on the buy side. I already love the answers. I'm on the buy side. I'm representing my buyer. I'm writing an offer to a seller. I put the contract together, and on third-party financing, I put 32 days for their third-party financing period. They don't catch it day before closing. They're like, we don't qualify. Poop, give me that earnest money.
Yeah. And this goes back to the first time we sat down. Be a good human still. Be a good human. We're all in the same business. But I'm also not going to hold your hand.
But ethical responsibility is fiduciary to your customer.
I'm not going to hold your hand. Yeah, I'm not going to hold your hand to it. If you miss,
I don't disagree with either side. Mm-hmm. There's an extreme to both sides. I'm one because I'm on the lending side always. That it's like, okay, I'm going to help you and help you. Let's get this thing together.
So I could make a joke here about the Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes, right? But let's do something for a minute. Let's play this exercise. If they're in practice and they're throwing the ball, let's say Mahomes is not running his pattern or has seen his patterns right. In practice, the coaches can step up, say, hey, this is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. Hey, actually, no, run it again. Let's try it this way, right? How many times do they get to do that in the game against the opponents? Do you think the opponent's like, hey, you know what? Hey, coaches, can you show Mahomes and beat us a little bit more?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. It's getting too much like it's fairness doctrine. If you're out on the battlefield, that's a reason why we have the IBS for a reason. The information about broker services shows that I represent my client and my client by myself. I'm not going to give away any of their position just because you don't know what you're doing. Now, I'll be nice. And again, now I sound like an asshole, but I can walk them through it gently. But am I going to give them something that's going to give any of my clients position away? Hell no.
No.
Right? I think what's going on is most agents are expecting that to happen. And if you look at some of the brokerages now, I know you guys are not like this, but I see a lot of brokers like this wildly rampant where these agents are in the business for 5-6 years. And guess who's writing all their contracts? They're transaction coordinators.
Yep.
They don't even know what the hell they're negotiating with.
That's right.
I'm literally getting emails. Oh, this is all we have to fill out for transaction coordinator. I go, there's so many more terms in the contract than this. What about this? What about the survey? What about encroachments? Oh, we don't handle that. We blankly fill that out. I go, are you kidding me?
That's what I mean.
You know,
seeing contracts going, did y'all know we've got outs for 30 days?
No.
But like for y'all salivate. I'm sure like when I was new to the office and I remember like Brad Burns and I got in together and we we're helping each other fill out contracts. And I was like, where do you put in seller's concessions? But we were adamant. Maybe it's because I was cheap, but I didn't hire a transaction coordinator until like year 2 because I was like, well, I could keep that $300 in my pocket. But like if I were doing it and then receive, like I hand you a deal and it's like halfway through, like I'm sure you'd salivate at the mouth, like and y'all would salivate at it, and which is expected because, like you said, like wow, like I'm here to support my guy. Like,
but that's also how we learn.
Yeah, facts.
There you go.
You don't learn unless it bites you in the ass and it costs you something of value that you see valuable, whether it's money, a client, what have you. Because if not, you're just going through the wind thinking you're doing it the right way.
I just want to tie it into the fact what I brought with the Mahomes thing and then during the game. That's why there's training. That's why you have a broker that trains you and shows you how to do that and you practice. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm asking for the rest of the population.
Yeah.
Do you?
Most of them, it's numbers, right? We know some of them that signed their life away to Zillow and look what's going on there.
Yep.
There's a lot of things we can unpack there, but I guess what I'm getting at is, Moses, Brad, phenomenal ages now. But you're right. If you don't know, obviously you got to learn sometime, but there's also practice and there's training that if your broker should be giving that to you, that's how you sharpen the sword.
Yes.
And get ready for battle.
Absolutely. And until it's game day, you've got practice. Sometimes 2 a days, you got to do it.
We talk about practice.
So to tie this back to the builder thing, you mentioned fiduciary responsibility of the agent is to your buyer. And I've been preaching this for many years, was taught to me by some solid agents, Marcus Laffey, Andy Hilger, that ran KB Homes for a little while. And the idea of as soon as the realtor hands their buyer over to the sales counselor to give their financing incentives over to the builder's lender, they just showed them all the cards. And that is something that is done without hesitation whatsoever. And the idea is, what if your buyer doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together? Do you want them to know that? What if they've got $1 million sitting in the bank? Do you want them to know that? Property comes up short on appraisal. Well, they've got the money. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So with your world, before a buyer takes a seller takes an agent takes a buyer to a new home build, how many times have they ran the application through you and then took it over to a new home build?
Very few. I get that information up front and I still take the application. I'll do a soft inquiry. I'll educate them on the options of going new build versus not. I talk to them about the incentives that they're going to be hit with. I pull the curtain on everything, but the idea is this money is coming from somewhere. I'm not saying that I'm doing your realtor job or what you guys, but it is 1000% tied to the financing. So that is my moment to inject the truth into this situation. If you still think you want to do that, no problem. If you are pissed off at the builder's lender, they try and screw you. If they can't do the deal, come on back. I'll be here.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
it's simple. Like I said,
it is what it is. I'm not going to fight over. I tell my loan officers and have for years, how do you lose something that you never had? Good. As long as you understand the concept of, they're interested in new construction. Builder, I have the conversation. Realtor has the conversation. So if they still move forward, then it must have been for them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's all about just, again, educating, having that conversation. I have a ritual, you know, whenever we go out and they tell me, hey, I really want to, you know,
Put on the
That
war
on.
paint. Let's go.
and I asked the rep, I'm like, hey, can you give us 5? Can I borrow your house? You know, can I just sit here for a minute? And we'll go to just random bedroom, and I just sit on the carpet. And my clients are like, "Why are you sitting on the carpet?" I'm like, "Because the carpet is comfortable." And I'm 44, about to be 45. I'll take any chance. I already got my steps for the day. And I'm
I
like,
bet they love that.
sit down. Okay, so
Come join me.
Right,
Join
yeah.
me.
this is your we have a little kumbaya circle, and I'm like,
awesome.
okay, this is the deal. Okay, this is cash. This is financed. You know, we deal with all builders that will take care of my clients. Okay, we do sell Lennar homes. Why? Because I get people that come in and say, I need a $1,400 payment. What other builder can give you that?
Serves its purpose.
It's either that or we end up in a part of town that they don't want to be in, with a 1948 house that is sideways, and with a higher payment, higher insurance, higher. I mean, at least I have, you know, a little blanket of security that they have a warranty, that it's new, that it's, you know, energy efficient. Do I agree with everything that they do? No. But I sit them down and I'm like, okay, guys, this is your worst case scenario. What are we planning on doing with this? Is this house number 1, house number 2? You know, and I already know those answers, of course, but I try to get, like, let's think of the future here.
Well, kudos to you for that, because at least you are laying it out for them. The idea of asking for the cash value of the home or the cash price of the home, not only is it genius, but it's what you should be doing as a realtor broker representing your buyer. Why? I mean, back to Marcus and Andy, they'd walk into new, and still do walk into a new construction and negotiate it just like if it was a pre-owned home. I mean,
100%.
I'm not playing the games of this and that. Are you guys wanting to sell a home because I've got a customer that is qualified and wants to buy it?
In this market, if you're not negotiating with the builder, we just had one of my agents. There was a builder. Big shout out to Meritage. We love Meritage. We love working with Meritage. They were offering a 6% commission, and my guy knows, you know, fiduciary comes first,
Right.
And he took out the sword, started going at it. He calls me. He's like, CA. He calls me CA. He's like, CA. We got him under contract. They're very happy. We couldn't secure the 6%. I said,
Good for him.
yeah, it is what it is, man.
Right.
And he's like, no, but I feel good about it. I feel good inside. And this is an agent that's been in the business for 2 years. And he's like, but I feel good about it. And I said, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, because you put those people in the best position to win, and you sacrificed that 3% bonus that you were going to get. And at the end of the day, he's like, man, I feel good about it. You know, and they saw it.
Right.
That's the
They
best
knew.
part. The people knew that there was a 6% commission, and you just took that sword and like straight into the chest.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I feel good about it. But they have to understand what they're doing. And because we do this, you know, 24/7, 365.
Some do.
Right. Yeah.
We do.
The good ones.
We do. But I mean, they buy a house sometimes once in a lifetime.
Correct.
You
Yes.
can't talk fast. You can't, you cut corners here and there. You have to lay it all out so they know exactly what they're doing. My job is not to sell houses. I don't sell houses, by the way. You know, I watch over people's money. That's it. I don't sell houses. That's what I
Hey,
tell my
me
people.
too.
You know,
I like that. I like that.
I watch over people.
I don't sell loans. I
Yeah.
just watch your money.
If I put you in a shit house,
I like that.
I'm not watching over your money.
Yeah.
If I put you upside down, I'm not watching over your money, you know?
So let me ask you guys this, and to wrap your point, and I love it. And I'm almost positive that each one of you have that conversation if you're dealing with new construction and a buyer of this is what you're getting, this is how much it costs, this is where the money's come from, and this is where it's going. That's why the price went from this to this, but look at your payment, etc. What allows you guys to have that conversation versus we know it's not happening quite often with many others? The ones that just go, hey, here you go, hand off, you're in great hands.
Well, I think, because my business is almost 100% referral.
And then they'll come in and then they'll come in and say, I think we should get an inspection. The realtor
Right.
that's representing that hasn't been there the whole time. They're like, yeah, let's get an inspection.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, following up with that question, because reputations are everything. If you got somebody that's already respected you, has gone through it, can trust you, and they tell somebody, hey, Josh is going to bend over backwards. And you know what? I told my people, like, I don't say it that way, like, hey, I'm here to watch over your money, but I back my own money up with their transaction, because at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere. So if I'm putting my neck on the line, I want you to know that it's because I know this and this and this, and I want you to do that. And so I'm there to get a client for life, not just a one transaction. So that's what I tell everybody when I set up down. I say, hey guys, Expose Homes, legit. Number one, let's talk about how I get paid. It's 3% commission. That's what it is. If there's a bonus involved, guess what? You guys get the damn bonus. I'm not here for the bonus, because I want you guys to tell everybody, the person, how awesome you are. And if that's just sugar on the top, they want to give a bonus, great. We just closed a new build yesterday. Same thing. And they kept arguing. Oh, no, that's your bonus. I said, I know. I gave it to my client. That I don't need that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Of course, he's going to military referral, right? But this is his fourth house too.
Yeah.
He's retired. You got to know people's. Yeah. So I think that it's just, if you can get a captive audience, and nowadays with everybody wanting to quickly get text and never have an ability to have this kind of conversation face to face, have some truth said, because we all know that if truth's being spoken, it's going to get a little uncomfortable at times.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got to be willing to put that out there and just get them to understand, like, look, everything I say is probably not going to be everything you want to hear, but you need me to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, unless you tell me the opposite, right? I'm probably not the agent for you if you just want me to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's worked out for us, but it is hard to, I'll be honest with you guys, it's very hard to compete with those realtors that are out there with all shiny, flashy object, and there's no fiduciary, because once they get them signed, boom, it's it. Yeah, the dancing. I just got to get the dancing, y'all. That's what it is.
The joke is, I was like, man, we're not selling enough houses because we're not doing enough TikTok dances.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't have the rhythm, man. I'm
I
sorry.
am ready to back that ass up. I will back that ass up.
Prices aren't the only thing dropping.
It's going to get all hot in here.
Yes.
To go off of what you said, it's just it's when we were shopping pre-owned houses, and then they did advertise the concessions on MLS. There's a lot of realtors that said if you sell 2%, 1%, they're like, I'm not going to take my seller or my buyer there.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as, hey man, it's either if they love this house, I'm gonna go sell it to them, because that's my job. First off, it's fiduciary duty. Second is, if I don't get them in this house, that means I may have to show them another 9 houses after that, and my time is worth more than the extra $2,000 I'm missing out on. So but people will absolutely, we see it all the time, is all the pages we're in is who's got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot, and who's offering the highest commission.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, dude, like, it's not because you're about to get back that commission like Cesar's agent does. It's because, hey, I want the fastest way to make $15,000.
Yeah.
But it's very much like, if you do everything with the right intentions, like, you're going to earn a client for life. Where, hey, I don't care. Like, if it means I could get my client in and I have to give up 2% of my commission or 3% of my commission, let's do it, man. Like, let's do it, and let's keep going on the next one, because you earned a client for life. We have a client right now that I've helped him buy 3 houses. I've helped their 2 kids buy a house. Now we're in the process of buying another house. And she tells me, hey, Moses, you're like part of the family now, and we need your opinion.
Yeah.
We value your opinion. And I love it, because every time we've sold their first house, was like a 900 square foot house in Los Angeles Heights. Before it was Los Angeles Heights. And now they moved into a massive, like 3,000 square foot house that just beautiful. And now it's cool to see, because they did everything that I told them.
Right.
And not tell, hey, you got to do this, but hey, you want to invest? Hey, you should do this. You should do this. You should do this. And now they have their dream house, and now their kids are getting into their houses in their early 20s. I'm like, they're just doing what we told them to do.
Right.
And it makes me freaking happy, because it's cool to see it play out. So,
Absolutely. So to kind of go into my last topic, I'd want to hone in on the idea of, because before we had rate block buys, essentially the builder forwards is what it is. The builder is buying a chunk of rates at X amount, and they got to get rid of them before that was happening. We had the 2 and 3-1 buy down, which that is a temporary rate reduction for a year to 2 years. And the reason why I bring up this topic is that began late 2022.
Yes.
we're now in 2025. So those things are going to start hiking up to the second tier and to the third tier.
Yep.
And we're talking 1%. We go from 5 to 6, 6 to 7. Typically $300,000 house, you're adding $150 per month. Just right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And the idea was we're squeezing these people into the homes to make them affordable. Yep. We're just getting through so that eventually rates are going to come down. They're going to refinance. Well, here we are. Yeah, here we are 2 years later, 2.5 years later. Rates haven't come down as much as we thought they were. These folks are about to incur the next rate hike, which, in my opinion, based on the builders still building, is maybe going to lead to excess foreclosures, like maybe not as bad as we saw before, but definitely something to talk
it already
about.
is. I mean, Josh can tell you it already is, but I don't know if y'all remember this 2 years ago. What was it? Marry the house, not
date the rate, marry the house.
Date the rate. Yep. I never used that line. My line was, can you stomach the payment on month 25? That's it. Because that's when it kicks in, month 25.
That's right.
It says, it's 3, 2, 1 buy down, and all these years. And I'm like, no. It's month 25.
That's right.
Okay. It's the third year. It doesn't go a full year. It's not 3 years. It's month 25.
Correct.
Can you stomach this payment on month 25? If the answer is yes, we're buying it.
That's right.
If you can't, then we got to go back to the drawing board. Yep. Why? Because a lot of people went into, and there's a builder that class action lawsuit just hit. I want to say
2 of them.
Wednesday, because and I don't think it was it's not here. I think it started in Florida, where they were doing pre-qualifications, pre-approvals, and full-on closings with
property taxes low.
With undeveloped.
Ooh,
That's the
unimproved.
one.
Unimproved.
As soon as you started talking, I was like, are we going to talk
Unimproved
about
taxes.
the property taxes now?
And that is still a practice that happens today.
It's still going on now.
Oh yeah, no, it's still going on. But this builder actually just got hit with. Now
when
I know
99% of yours are unimproved, there's probably an issue there.
Yes. So, and they just got hit because, there's a lot of stuff, going on in that lawsuit, and I'm not going to say any names. But, it goes to say that all those people that are in that lawsuit, who is representing them?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the builder.
Right.
The builder has the pockets to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
and who did what, and who needs to
next.
get fired. Who is representing those people that walked in and said, you know what? Unimproved taxes payment, top notch. They sat at the closing
I don't
table.
think they're saying those words on improved taxes payment. They're just telling you, hey, your payment is
this
$1,000.
But again, as an agent,
payment shock letter that is required on that is signed but not reviewed.
Exactly. Like, because you're giving them credit by saying they're acknowledging unapproved property taxes. And how many times have you run into it? You run into it where people need to sell within 2 years because their payment just changed by $500.
They go up
Yeah.
dramatically.
But you hit it right on the head with the unapproved property taxes.
yeah, I mean, it's just, how can you be the agent across the, at the closing table and looking at that payment, knowing damn well that's not going to be their payment? I mean, how is...
But you're not the lender, so what does it matter?
Again,
And you got them the payment that they wanted.
It's outside your... Is it outside your scope? It's not.
No, it's not.
No.
Because property taxes have to do with the property.
Yeah. So
Matter of fact, too many times am I the one telling the buyer about property taxes for the first time ever that we go, wait a minute, hey, next time inform them what taxes are.
I don't allow any...
You almost just killed the deal.
Yeah, I don't allow any builder. It's the first thing we get them ready. They're ready to buy. They go through the pre-approval process, and I tell the loan officer it has to be what's the tax rate? 2.25. Okay, grab the purchase price, multiply by 2.25, and make that the payment.
You can actually do 90% of the value, 80% of the value times the tax rate, and that would be closer to I'm going to be homesteaded on this property.
Yeah.
And typically that first year they don't hit you with the full price. But at the same time, yes,
I go worst case scenario always, and they do it.
Yeah, that's
sometimes they slip it by me,
right?
And I'm at the closing table,
and that is why the reason why they did that is because the buyer at some point balked at something, and they went up solution, boom, we're going to switch to this. The buyer's now happy, and at the closing table, but they didn't fully explain what's going to happen. Or if they did, the buyer went, okay, yeah, sounds good.
I will stop.
Lower payment by $400 for the first year. Great.
Why not?
We ran into that with multiple clients, and it's clients, friends who didn't use me as a realtor, and they're like, hey, sorry I didn't use you, but how can I protest my property taxes because my payment just changed by $500? Hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? And I'm like, hey, man, like, should have been known that this is unimproved property taxes, but hey, let's try to resolve it.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question because this is your world. Like numbers wise, like how many times have we seen short sales and foreclosures? Have you seen a massive increase?
So right now,
this makes it real reality of
right now, I mean, obviously, and this is why I'm very thankful for the real estate community, because we are such a small town community. Almost all of ours referrals. So I'm paying these agents referrals on these, and most of them, they're like, hey man, they got in this situation, right? So already I was tracking it with my assistant this morning. So we've already had over 78 short sale consultations this year.
Whoa.
I've only taken on 32 of them. Wow. So what that means is some of these people have already created their own mess. And instead of wanting to go through some financial help or some counseling, because that's part of what I do with my short sale consultation. That's what my fiduciary was like, hey guys, maybe we can get you out of not just letting this thing go to default. Maybe we can come into a rental position, or maybe you have other debt that you can maybe stop paying on, unsecured debt. You know, we need to talk about this. It's financial literacy. So we could really impact a lot here. But I will tell you this right now, our foreclosure rates in Bexar County, if you track the foreclosure sales, they haven't actually been going up like you'd think they would. Here's why. And I sat in a crowded room in front of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, some of the biggest GSEs out there. Well, the GSEs, the servicers, right? And this was about REOs and foreclosures coming on the pipeline. They're calling this month Red October because what they know and we know, and we're seeing the data, because Bexar County is one of the most affected foreclosure counties in all Texas right now, if you guys didn't know that. So we're up almost 13% on pre-foreclosure data coming through. Wow. And what that shows to us is what was going on during COVID. And then when the market went crazy, the lenders were remodifying these 2.5%, 3% loans into 7.5 or 7.25, ridiculously high. And then of course the client, once that new payment kicks in, now they really can't afford it. So what are they doing? They're adding it onto their arrears. Usually if it's an FHA loan, they're doing it through a HUD variance, right? Or a HUD partial claim. And then they're just sitting there on second lien, just hoping the values are going up. Guess what? Now the values are not going up. So they're coming back down, and they are done with loan modification options. They don't know what to do. And these lenders are being forced now through all the GSEs, handing things down, FHA, VA, saying, hey guys, you guys got to start figuring out how to get these non-performing notes under control.
Yeah. I mean, and first step to that was the forbearance multiple times. And let's face it, the reason for the delays is the investor, the servicer, they don't want to own more properties, especially ones that are not worth it. I mean, so they're going to give all the opportunities, and these buyers, they just want out, I would imagine. So I think we are seeing a rise in foreclosures. I think we're going to continue. I pulled some data real quick. JC, if you can throw this up on the screen. Let's see here. I asked it, are foreclosures rising? If so, what kind of tracking measures are you doing? Here's some data that points to market signals that suggest negative equity risk is present or growing for new buyers. Negative equity is rising again. One recent summary states the negative equity among mortgage holders increased about 1% from 0.6% a year from the year prior. Historically 2007 crash. Let me see here. Premium new construction. The price premium that new constructions use to command over resale is dissolving in many markets. So I think that is going to bring a lot of things back. And it won't be quick, but it's definitely going to, their homes are not going to appraise come next year. And then they'll start tapering down, if that makes sense. Immediate depreciation risk for new home purchases. The buyer closes at full list plus incentives. Then shortly after, the builder cuts prices on nearby units. The buyer home is already disadvantaged. The competitor sells with undercutting their equity. That I saw firsthand. Friend of mine in Houston, she's buying a brand new home. Another friend that we actually know calls Kristen and says, hey, I want to buy this pre-owned home. One directly from the builder is selling at, $400,000. The used one, slightly used, a year old, is selling $40,000 less. Which do you pick?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, I've got one right now that we're dealing with on the pre-foreclosure side. It's a VA deal, 2 of them in the same neighborhood, both Perry homes. Perry Homes still building them and closing at $455,000. But these homes got one that appraised through the liquidation appraisal at $340,000. We're under contract at $320,000. The same kind of model that's actually inferior to the subject. The VA came out and some jackass appraiser, and I would love to say his name because he's a dipshit. He appraised it for $455,000.
I know who it is.
Yeah, I know. Cesar knows it. Well, and so I'm arguing with the VA right now, and I'm going way up the chain, and they're shooting back like, well, he's provided these in comps. I go, guys, if I produced comps that only showed new builds when this is a 3-year home,
Yep.
I'm sorry, what origination purchases are allowed to use new builds for 3-year-old homes? Do you guys know any? Because I don't.
No.
And they are all just rejecting the data, and it's like nobody's paying attention to what's going on at the baseline.
That's right.
Right. And so we're having these conversations now with these new executives because I used to have really good contacts, and I went to Dallas and go, wait, where'd so-and-so go? Oh, they're gone. Yeah, they did this. Right. So a lot of people change.
Wow.
So what's going on now? If you ask me on that, we'll never have an '08 crash. We'll just get that out of the way, guys. That was a whole nightmare created by derivatives,
Yep.
Market, Wall Street versus going on to Main Street. But what we have now is that we've been kicking the can down the road for too many homeowners that were having issues. They got in the negative equity situations. New builds are one of them because of this reason.
Right.
And now they're like, okay, we've done everything else we can. We put Band-Aids and Band-Aids, but yet the waters are still coming
Still
out.
leaking.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now.
Man, it's good point. Well, guys, we've now reached a little over an hour. Pretty good discussion that we have here. As we close this out, who wants to add something to the end of this conversation? Anything that would help the realtor, buyer, because we can't speak for the builders. We could say what we want. They're not going to listen anyway.
Well, I actually wore a jersey to show something very supportive of what's going on. So Project Marvel helping San Antonio and all of us needs to happen.
Yeah.
I just really believe it. I was in Indy this weekend. If you guys haven't been in Indianapolis, their city kicks our ass in so many levels. I'm like, why? Like they're way down the list. We're 7th in the nation, and yet we can't figure all this out. We need to have an urban development like we've never had before. So I would say that's number one that would help all of us. Let's just say that for the San Antonio market.
Vote yes. Please vote yes.
Yes.
So that's what I wanted to say about that, but maybe you guys can add the other piece.
Go ahead, guys.
I would say for any consumers watching and realtors watching, I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of the movie The Big Short. I can
Same
watch it
here.
forever.
Me too.
Same too.
And if you watch the end of it, you see the cycle starting again.
Mhm.
The realtor, we're in a little goalie. We're in a little goalie. At the end of that, you see what do you see the realtor doing? The realtor's in a training. Okay. I think we're overtrained in bullshit that we don't need. We are
point.
absolutely 100% overtrained and overcoached in bullshit that we don't need. Okay. We need X's and O's. We need CMAs. We need how to write a contract. We need how to speak with clients about hard topics
Preach it.
that they need to hear versus, how do you feel today? Or, let's go out and win the day. What the fuck does that mean? Go and win the day. Am I going to like pick a basketball and like win that day or pickleball? So we need those actual, trainings and coachings, and we need team leaders. We need brokers to take responsibility for their agents. So they're not out there acting. We're the only profession that will automatically and, we dilute ourselves.
Yeah, you're accepted. You're accepted.
Yeah,
You're
we
accepted.
dilute ourselves because we allow all this to happen. Sometimes we promote it,
Yeah.
and we award it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you get an award because you have so many followers on Instagram, but you suck at writing a contract. So I'm old school, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying some of these things, and that's perfectly fine. But a great agent needs to know the X's and O's, needs to know an exit strategy, needs to have those tough conversations with people. I don't get hired all the time because, like Josh said, I'm referral based. I'm going to tell you things that you don't want to hear.
That's right.
When we go looking at homes, my job is to make sure you don't buy that house. My job is to find all the bad shit in that house. So if agents focused on that, they would be more prepared for the next phase of this cycle. The next phase of this cycle is not going to be pretty for agents. It's not. It's going to be brutal, bloody. That's where I came into the market. You saw it, and it was rough. I mean, talk about doing 4 open houses, 8 hours every Saturday, 8 hours every Sunday with one person showing up. That's how my career started, you know, and some of these agents, yes, we have social media. We have all these other tools to get you in front of thousands and thousands of people. But at the end of the day, people that are serious will need a true expert in real estate. You know, I once heard somebody say, and I just could not believe I heard it in a room full of agents. If you want to be successful in real estate, don't focus on real estate. Focus on sales. And I said, rewind that back. If you want to be successful in real estate, do not focus on real estate.
What?
Focus on sales. And I said, how does that make any sense at all for what we do as experts, as fiduciaries, as advisors?
Contradiction. It's absolutely. So, you want to be a great attorney?
I want to
go out and get sales.
Go get sales. You know, go do your thing. Don't focus on law.
You raise a great point, and it is almost a point for another discussion. In itself.
Again, not dogging on the agents.
No, not at all.
Brokers,
but just calling it what it is.
Brokers, team leaders. You know, handle your business, your parents. As a broker, I've been a parent of many agents. Okay. I always call them my kids, kids, you know, my oldest agent is 75. Shout out to Renee. What's up, Renee? But I always call them my kids. Why? Because I'm responsible for them and everything that they do. And I don't babysit. None of my agents can handle their shit. Okay. Because they get trained on what's important. Now, if they want to, you know, pivot from there and do some social media, do some other things that are cool, go for it. But that's where this is not a dig at agents. This is like brokers, team leaders, everybody that is in charge of agents. Train them on what's important. Don't train them on not what's sexy or their feelings. You know. You don't do that. You're hurting them for the next piece of the cycle. The next. It's not going to be pretty for a lot of people. I mean, it's going to punch you in the mouth. I appreciate
the honesty. Because the idea is they are not learning properly. They're not learning what they need to learn to represent their customer, their client. In the end, that's the person that matters. I mean,
exactly.
If this person, the realtor, doesn't know their job, that's okay. They've got a broker. As long as they're empowered enough and feel confident enough to ask their broker when there's a question, when there's something, I have no problem with that. It's the ones that think they know everything that are doing their buyers injustice. Over and over.
If you're a broker, and I'm looking at the camera, if you're a broker, team leader, you know, anybody in charge of agents and you're doing your job, thank you. You're doing our professional service. And I thank you for that. But because we're all trying to survive, this is a profession that is trying to survive right now. So if you're doing your job, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Right. Moses, what you got?
Branshaw, you were in an industry that's under constant attack. At one point, they're going to get to the point where the open doors, the Redfins, everyone, we're basically going through a time where they're basically pointing out realtors are not needed. We have the information at our fingertips. People are selling convenience. We got to start bringing value to like what you just said. And this is no way a shot at all the realtors. Almost part of it is jealous that I don't have the rhythm to do the TikTok videos or even the idea of like I have the confidence that I don't do it, but I bring to the table experience and I just do everything. You just do everything with the right intentions, what I believe everyone at this table does. But we are in a industry that where we're trying to get weeded out. Like we don't need realtors. Right. Why do we need you? If I could just walk in a new home build and you're just going to get your commission for what you do, you point him in the right direction. But yeah, we got to start.
Could you imagine if that was the case? We'd be in some shit within a couple of years. Turmoil.
We just got to start bringing value to what we do and take some pride in what we do, and then do everything in the right direction. Like I said, you need leadership. Don't pick your mentor off of Instagram followers. Don't pick your leaders or the broker you're going with because it's a cool thing right now. I will be a very strong advocate for KW because that's where my first 7 years was. And it was an absolute open door policy.
Sure.
I could walk into Josh Boggs' office. I could walk in anyone's office. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, this is how you do it. So
Yeah.
pick your leaders, pick your mentors, pick your team leads, pick your brokers with, hey, I want to be in this industry for a very long time and not for instant gratification because I see all your closings and they look really sexy, but there's times change. So
Yeah.
pick your leadership, pick your, like I said, just take some time to think of that, of who you're investing your time within.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you for that discussion today. I've learned a lot in this, and new form friends right
Man,
here.
thank you, man.
You know
Appreciate
your
it.
shit, brother. I like it. For those of you out there tuning in, listening to this, there's one point that I want to drive home, and that is lower rates doesn't mean a better deal. Make sure you are looking for equity, transparency, and in the end, question everything. That being the case, guys, we will catch you on the next one.
What the hell? 1,021 likes.
I know that's just likes, dude. I don't even know how many views that has. I saw it and I was like, so many violations, so many.
Yep.
Why would you do that to a military family,
I know.
man?
I would have known that.
That's
I would
fucked up.
have to go on there and comment on that. But you know what? You just become a hater. And
now you look like a hater now.
right. Well, and here's the other thing too, guys. When I posted that, because there's so many times I want to rant, right? But I've noticed, even like with the Charlie Kirk incident, for one, I just said pray for Charlie Kirk. Holy shit.
the hell up.
And I got my ass handed to me, my people in our industry.
I see the thing. I said, man, no violence, revive. Look how me fired up to get
Bro.
to work. Buddy turned this into a trumpet.
Boy,
I mean,
yeah. Right.
I've done that multiple. I said, when did I mention Trump once? And
Right, exactly.
Yeah. yeah, I've lost a lot of, and I deleted a lot of people. I've deleted a lot of people just off. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be associated with you. Like you really this brainwashed or something?
Yep.
But all the time, I'm like, man, it's you want to speak up on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to get in this argument today.
Yeah, that's right. And I'd be sucked into it.
I think we got into one on the news station, and I'm like, man, I opened up the fucking can of worms on this. Like,
I don't mind doing the algorithm.
True.
Let me ghost and post. Post and ghost.
that's what. Yeah, I see. It's hard to stay like. Oh, and I've also been adamant. I'm not gonna lose friends over politics. I can still be your friend, and we didn't vote for the same person.
And the ones that you do want
Yeah, if I'm your friend, like I'm fucking friends. I'm
Yeah.
not an asshole, bro. Like I'm cool.
Seriously.
It's I right now after this, I'm gonna go see she's one of my clients, one of probably the leading radio LGBTQ radio host in the nation. She's one of my clients.
Wow.
She's relocating to
and let me
San Antonio.
guess, she's not woke.
I don't think we give a shit.
Good point.
Like I don't think we care. You know,
Good point.
it's like
So then she's not woke.
yeah, no, she's
And
no.
the reason being is she would have already gotten that out of the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not a single
Yeah.
mention to anything. She just
And
asked
there
me-
are plenty of
And that's what
good
it should
ones
be.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
That's
like
the
the
way it should
coolest
be.
lady ever, and she's the coolest lady ever. You know, obviously you have to be careful what you say because you want to be
jokes,
respectful.
different. Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
anything, just like with any culture, you know, if you're
How
gonna
about any business.
period.
Any bit. Yeah.
Read the room.
Yeah, read the room. But we got along like right off the bat. She's like, "Wow, you know, I bought a house before. I've never had this much fun
Yeah.
on the first day of looking at houses."
That's
And
cool.
then yesterday, I sent her out with my showing partner, and she texted me back. She's like, "Wow,
I want you to.
I had more fun with your showing partner than you." I was like,
It's
There you go.
"Yeah," and we're and just again, we've reached a point where we've decided not to talk to each other because people will tell me, you know, I'll say one thing, it's like, "Oh, you're a Trumper." I was like, "Time out. Let's discuss the issues."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let's discuss the issues. Let's go one by one. And we'll
Just peel it back. Why
Yeah.
did I get here? Like, how
Like,
did you
how
explain that?
Yeah, how did you get there? You know, and that's when they just go batshit crazy and they don't want to talk to you anymore because they can't talk.
I never once mentioned I just said, man, this commenting off the.
Like a dude died, man. It's fucked up.
For real.
Period.
That's for real. Go back to the core.
Yeah.
Go back to the core morals of being human. I don't give a fuck if I hated you. Like, well, I had someone brought it up on my status, like, well, he called George Floyd a scumbag. And I was like, bro, why are we bringing up George Floyd, first off? And second is, man, dude, like, they both shouldn't have died. How about that?
Yeah.
They both should have died.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a damn, like, what it is, what your stance is. Nobody should freaking die. Like, at the hands of another person. And so, but that's rerun. I run into that a lot where people, and there's a realtor was going back and forth on me. He called me racist because I didn't agree about his Colin Kaepernick take. Like, he's like, you're just a racist. Like, no, he was just terrible at football. Like, how about that? Like,
You're a racist.
Somebody pretty much called me racist because I wouldn't go for college.
Yeah.
Because she was like, awful.
Can
My
we?
Democrat friends even say,
it's common sense. Like, you like
No, well, no, guys, I'm going to say this. I got friends on both sides, and I would say the name calling is what needs to stop because people think they can. I mean, can't say the N word out loud.
You don't have an you can.
Well, it's funny. Growing up in high school, I was one of the only white guys that could.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
I played basketball. I was down with them. They knew it. Then,
I grew up in
you know what I'm saying?
I was born in Mexico, for fuck's sake.
But yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh yeah, but you can't be a Trumper because you're from Mexico, right?
Yeah,
You know?
my cousins love him.
Same. All
like,
of us family.
but once it goes to the point where it's like you're calling names, I'm like, all right, we're past this debate now. And I was like, second is, you want to turn petty? I'm going to go lower.
That's
We're
exactly
not
right.
debating.
Yeah, we're no longer debating.
No longer debating, but what you're doing though, and this is what I'm trying to explain the argument, is you're demonizing a human being and getting people behind it. That's why so many people were happy about Charlie Kirk, because I was like, why are people celebrating this guy got murdered and executed on live TV? And people are like, yeah, good. That's what racist piece of shit gets. I'm like, do you know who he is? And I clients her. I said, do you follow anything? Don't need to. I've already seen the clips. Blah, blah, blah. I go,
Clips.
There you go.
there you go. So because people said it, you just
So
jumped
my
on
argument's
board.
always been, if your source is social media, then no one have the conversation.
Exactly.
It's lazy.
Yeah.
15 years ago, I told my wife, I said, I think we have a mental issue problem.
Oh yeah.
Back then, mental health.
Being
Yes.
celebrated.
Back then, it wasn't mental health wasn't even mentioned.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you right now, we yes, we have a mental health issue problem. The problem we have right now that is alive and well is the damn algorithm. We have an algorithm. Your algorithm is different than yours.
Did you watch the
Plans to
episode with
Yep,
Jeff
real.
and Matt and Steve?
Yeah.
That we went in depth on the algorithm.
The algo. We have an algo issue. My attorney, one of my best friends,
Exactly correct.
we're polar opposites, politically speaking. And one day I just said, Brandon,
Let me see your feed.
let me see your feed. Let me see what you're looking, and I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And boy, talk about black and white.
Uh-huh.
And I said, that's what you're seeing every day.
Yeah.
And because he's one of those
He's
that gets
putting
pissed
their
off.
shit in our feed and our shit in theirs.
That's-
Piss them off.
Yes.
Piss each
And
other
the
off.
higher ups are eating it up.
Oh,
The
man.
higher ups are eating it up.
Yeah. Today, Meta, what's Meta at today?
It's
Yeah,
working.
we hate
Yeah,
it.
That's what's
It's like,
sad
yeah.
and scary.
the division is real and it's all self-inflicted.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's a reading comprehension issue for half, because it takes some time. If you actually, motherfuckers are out here pounding Tylenol. And he said, he didn't fucking say that.
Yeah.
He didn't say Tylenol causes it.
Yeah.
He said it may lead up, it raises the risk.
and a few years ago, Tylenol even said you should.
CNN flipped this story out.
It raises the risk. It doesn't mean you motherfuckers are pounding Tylenol because,
This is real. That's
yeah.
what it is.
and I'm just like, man, y'all, and then you can't argue with people like this. And then people like, and it's like you're,
Yep. I know.
I tell people, I say,
You're
let's
ignorant. You don't want
do
to know.
this conversation because we're going to argue about, if we were arguing about religion, I could go to your religion and say, it is stupid that you think you're going to die and you have 21 virgins and 500 goats and all that. I think it's stupid, but you were raised by that. And who am I to say it's stupid? You could look at my religion and say, so Jonah really got swallowed by a whale. Like so you're saying that in a lion's den, you survived a night. Like, it sounds stupid to people, but it means something to me.
It's entrenched in you.
It means something to me. And who am I to be like, say that sounds stupid to you?
Yeah.
And I'm very adamant of, bro, if you want to marry a goat, you want to marry a man, you want to marry this, You're happy. Have at it. Don't force it down someone's throat. Live your life, bro.
Sounds pretty commonsensical.
And it's
Right.
and that's
Bro, you're asking for too much. You're asking for common
too much
sense.
common. Yeah, that's such a scarcity, and then that's what it is. It's what once it's forced down someone's throat. I'm like, hey man, like, do you? But like, why do I have to conform to you? Like, I'm gonna respect you, but y'all don't have to fall into you. Like, cool, bro, be happy. The reality with this is one of
Is
them.
it just a big psyop?
And the in game,
Yeah,
it's when it
true.
comes down to is, oh, it's a sin. No, this is a sin. This is a sin. This is a sin. I'm saying, bro,
Awesome.
bro, that means more space in heaven for you, motherfucker. Like, if they're sitting, who am I? But who are you to that means I'm making it. Who am I to tell you? I'm going to make it
this,
happen.
this being your first time, what helps is at the end of the day today, I'm going to send you guys a link with a Dropbox. It will have 40 clips, reels already done. Download whatever you want and share it. This will go live next Wednesday
Cool.
on social media. And promoting it helps get the views. and all that
The
good
bigger the funnel,
Oh, yeah.
collaborate, all that. The bigger the funnel, the better.
stuff. That's right. And
yeah.
our markets tap into each other's markets. No, I didn't start this podcast to get business, but we do end up getting business
Which is
from it
about us.
because we're experts.
Bro, it's a,
And that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, no, it works, man. It works. Send it over, and we have our guy in.
You won't need to do anything.
Okay.
They're done. They're done.
you could just
I'll just do.
It even
Oh, yeah, yeah,
says
please, yeah,
what
yeah.
you should put for the
Get one
flip.
JC
Oh,
in it,
nice.
too.
Yeah.
What I will say,
I don't care.
Mark,
You have your phone or
Mark, you've got a hell of a platform, and I think you guys are on the precipice of hopefully maybe never being as big as a Charlie Kirk or anything like that. But I'm saying we have to have this open dialogue. So
100%,
opposing views and doing something like this, getting everybody. Oh, are we supposed to do it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
I need to start
Thank you,
doing
thank you,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think
Can you send that to me? Post it. Okay.
I'll put it in our group message.
please, please send that. Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
At Cesar AME. Cesar Ame.
But the open dialogue thing is
It's what we have to have nowadays. I mean, I don't know if you guys try to run for political office. I got talked into it, and I went to the first Republican meeting, and I tell you what, I walked right out. I said,
Same here.
"Well, no wonder I'd be fucking pissed, and I would hate the Republicans too if they talk like that because all it was, nothing positive. It was just like, can you believe these pieces of shit are doing this? We need to figure out how to stop them. We need to do this. There was nothing positive.
No solutions.
No,
No.
that's all it is. I don't like
That's
it.
the one.
I went out, right? And I think the open dialogue, because we all start to realize we're not all going to agree with everything. No, I don't
No.
agree with what everything I say. But we have to at least understand that, have empathy and understand what people are walking.
Here's what the strangest, funniest, most fascinating. We all probably agree on 80% of everything.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But yet we focus on the 20%, the 90%.
the negatives.
Yep.
What you said in that post is, I guarantee you, it's probably crossed your mind, or to an extent, I crossed my mind. It takes some balls to post.
I was like, man, he chose silence today.
It takes,
I said podcast. That's what I was like, I'll do it.
I'm like, game, let's
So we gotta
go.
get back to a comfort level of like, I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to get canceled. But you said it like, hey, I'm established. Like, we got to mention shit now. Because if shit just keeps going swept under the rug, all of a sudden we're gonna have an avalanche of like shit.
We're the only profession that dilutes themselves.
Yeah.
Facts, like
We're
you
the
said,
only
yeah.
profession that dilutes themselves.
You said
We keep on, lowering the bar, lowering the bar. Like we're again,
Jeff
we're
talks about it.
a,
all the time.
a generation of glorified door openers.
We made it worse.
know.
And we make it worse. And we make it worse for ourselves. And then you go, like I said, you go to fucking Groupon and become a licensed realtor. Like Groupon for $500, $400.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just like, if we're giving, you still just bought a $500,000 house, and like the person who represented the buyer, she made it very clear. Can you help me? And I love Jeff because we're obviously partners. She's with Redbird. She's like, I'm scared to ask Jeff. And I said, Jeff's a good dude.
Jeff,
I said, Jeff's a good dude. But she's scared. It's because she's doing something wrong, and
Correct.
she's scared of the repercussions of Jeff feeling, hey,
What
I
she
was like,
already
and
did.
she told me, I said, yeah, I know Jeff. I was like,
Yeah.
Jeff's gonna help you.
Absolutely.
And she's like, well, I don't want to just sound. I said, Jeff, like I know Jeff. He's gonna help you. And she's just like, and she got some help from him, but I'm like, hey man, like, it blows my mind. Like, how the fuck did you land a $650,000 client? And I'm telling you, the house was shit. Everything was on the seller's disclosure.
So,
Should never sold for that.
Question for you, because you raised that. Is the issue the new agent that got in the business and captured that deal? Or is the issue the lack of education on the buyer or seller side for hiring that agent to try and save money?
The buyers know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Can,
no, I-
can we
I
put
know
it
where
on the
you're going.
agent? You closed your first deal at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guarantee
You fake
somebody
it till you
went,
make it to an
"How the
extent.
fuck did
You
he
got
get
to
that
fake
deal?"
it till you make it to an extent.
Correct.
But it's also very much of buyer. We have so much information at our fingertips. But like, for example, if Cesar is my client and he works for Toyota, I tell my clients very much when we do a buyer's consultation, Cesar, I don't know shit about Toyota. And I'm going to treat this like if it were my first day. I'm going to ask you a million questions about Toyota.
Yep.
I need you to treat me like that. It may sound stupid to you, but I'd rather you ask me than Google it.
Yep.
Because if you end up on Google, all of a sudden you got a tumor and you got 3 months to live.
Yeah.
So that's what I
Yeah.
tell my clients. But so buyers to an extent is almost at fault. But if I go to a doctor, I'm not going to know if that doctor started his first day
You're right.
or 10 years because I'm going to say, you're a fucking doctor. I hope you know
You
what
made
you're
it.
doing. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope you know what you're doing. I don't care if you're last in your class or first in your class. You're still a fucking doctor.
Well, that's hate to shameless plug, but that's literally why we created LoanBot.
Yeah.
For buyers to pull back the curtain, be transparent,
That's awesome.
show them what they can actually do, and
you're not being steered.
then be the
It's educated.
be the fucking expert that says this is the one I recommend and why, because you told me this is your scenario, and it forces the lender to ask those questions that
And feet to the
onboarding.
fire. No, feet to the fire because
That's the high trust interview.
when you get an educated buyer and they're like, well, and I name something like whatever it may be, like your escrow accounts, whatever stuff like we talk about every day. It's like, okay, yeah, I was reading on that. I'm just like, good, because now she's going to hold me accountable.
Mhm.
She's going to ask, well, what is this? And
Yep.
what about this? And then you got to be like, no, that's only for conventional loans, or this is if you got 20% down. Oh, okay, then that makes sense. So there's buyers that are really educated, and you got to.
Well, there are buyers that are educated to the point that they can find the information, but the realtor needs to be there to help them apply that information and to back up what they read or researched. Because at the end of the day, I can read laws all day long, but I can't apply them
know what to do.
correctly, right?
So that buyer, they're a dentist. They're a dentist in Alaska, so obviously they're very educated.
Sure.
Like I would assume that. And
In
it's-
whatever they're
Yeah,
educated
they're
on.
in their field.
Yeah.
And they're so I'm assuming they found the buyer's agent through like a referral, or maybe they clicked on someone's TikTok, or they clicked on, oh, they seem like they got 1 million views, and
Yep.
they must know what they're doing.
Well, that's what it is. And our business,
Perception.
because we're the lowest bar to entry, $600 in a weekend, you can get your license. Just like Steve Collins would always say, he
Yep.
goes, you know what? If I was going to be putting in 8,500 and I was told I got to win a race, every licensed person can drive a car, but I'd rather have Mario Andretti driving than, my own son, Josh Collins,
Yeah.
right? They might have the same equal license, but not nearly the same experience, right? And what happens in this industry, because there's so much unpacked about it, is that, and I just had this happen this morning. It was so funny. One of my buddies I've known for 14 years, I helped him buy his first house. Hey man, I just want to let you know, dude, I think we're going to go with our other agent because we've known her for so long. She's such a nice girl. And we just felt so bad that we didn't give her the business.
And that happens a ton.
all the time. And I'm like,
Ton.
and how do you go back and be not the dickhead? Like, wait. I looked her up. Do you want to really know how many deals she's at? Right. I'm not going
And
to.
an even sadder point to this is the only industry, and maybe not the only industry, where experience versus non-experience will get you the same paycheck.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like what?
Drop.
You just made 3%, and I
Mic drop.
what?
Yeah, the newest thing that we're working on is AI, right?
Oh,
But now what people are
Let me
doing
know. I'm a nerd, dude.
is what people are doing is they're educating you because Google's gone.
I'm not
Google's
going to
gone.
say Google's gone,
Yeah.
but it is something that,
The more comfortable people get with chat,
because
with-
Google is
with-
still
I
very,
use Google AI a lot.
the more people get comfortable with Gemini, the
Yeah.
more people get comfortable with Perplexity,
ChatGPT, all-
with
yeah.
Grok. They set their scenario,
Mhm.
and the last seller consultation I had, I just ask. I always assume if they just call me from, because
Sure.
I'm just like Josh, I'm referral based.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they found me online, I usually it's Google,
Right.
or the Better Business Bureau. And I said, how did you find me? It's like, well, we went on Copilot.
which is
it's AI for,
which is Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah.
And we kept on asking, kept on giving prompts and prompts and prompts and prompts, and your name kept on popping up. You kept on popping up consistently. Then we finally looked you up, and I said, "Okay, cool." And then
he's good looking.
I was like, "Hey,
Nice hair.
This guy.
what's the
Can't
deal?"
pronounce his last name, but
So they called me. They're like, "That's how we found you." I sat down. I'm like, "So," and they're both engineers, software engineers.
Sure.
And I said, "Okay, walk me through it." Because
how did
yeah, I called one of my client Panos, who's a machine learning AI professor at Trinity. I was like, "So how does it work, man? Where does it pull the information from? Because I want to be on there all the time." And he says, "Well, I remember giving you your review, your Google review. Just remember those reviews are like locked and sealed. Nobody can see those. AI can't see those. So they go to everywhere else.
exactly correct.
And they go to like random websites like expertise.com,
Mm-hmm.
fast,
Experience.com. Yep. Those that don't have a
Fast
paywall.
Express. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Your AI will not go into Google reviews and read you. So they go through Zillow, they go through all these other places. And he's like, what you need to do, and this is the nugget for everybody to take home. What you need to do is mention your experience, mention your reviews, how many you have, awards and all that on random places, because that's where AI is going to find. Look yourself up again, and it'll give you
That's
the
a different
sources.
kind of SEO. Yeah.
It's AI.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
AI. But that's how because people are getting more and more comfortable with just going to chat and be like, hey, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? We went to California. My whole trip was planned. I didn't have to do anything. I had to rent the car. I had to buy the flights, and I got the Airbnb. Everything else was fully planned by chat. Like the whole thing. I said, I'm a family. We're a family of 4. My children are these ages. We're going for these concerts. We're doing this. We're doing that. And it gave me like a full itinerary for every freaking day. Every freaking day, allergies.
I use
everything.
it multiple times in a day and have been since day one.
Before
anybody even knew about it, we were using it to build.
I know.
That's pretty bad.
I woke up at midnight last night. For some reason I couldn't sleep. And I had my phone. I was like, shit. What am I gonna do? I don't want to go on Instagram. Okay, let's go on chat. I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. when the market opens, and I want to deploy X amount of dollars, and I want to do a scalp that nets me at least 10%. Give it all the so give me the 5 stocks that have the highest probability. Broke it all down for me. From there, I went onto X and started doing research on all of them. This is why I can't sleep.
Yeah, well, I got that same problem.
And
we're all in it.
Okay, boom, 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 boom. Did my research, picked my stock, put it, set it, turned off the phone, woke up, and I was like, that's what my wife. I was like, I did that while I was sleeping.
Look what I did.
She's like, what? I'm like, I know.
Because I'm a man.
Yeah.
What are you doing in your sleep, man?
But yeah, I mean, the thing is wild, but that's in our business. It's become such a tool.
In every business.
Yeah, it's become such a tool.
How are you using it?
But it's all, but that's where it is where we're under attack, because after a while, like people are like, why do I need a realtor? Like if AI just keeps developing, like, why do I need a realtor? That's where you got to bring value. Like we got to bring.
I'll be in Mexico.
That's why we also came out with Loan Bot. Because every time comes,
I'll be in Puerto Escondido.
Not joking. We can eliminate the
everything's
loan
at your
off.
fingertips now.
Correct.
We're in a where everything's convenience. Like,
Awesome.
convenience. But
We're good to go.
All right, guys. I gotta
That's
get
it.
running. We're awesome.
Like I said, you'll have all this by the end of the day, along with the episode, and it will come out. Very nice to meet you. Yeah.
we gotta hang out, man.
If you're still sending out pre-approval letters and praying your realtor send you the next lead, you're already behind.
Top producers are winning because they're giving their agents more than just rate sheets and donuts. They're giving them LoanBot. With LoanBot, you can offer realtors a white-labeled, co-branded digital mortgage tool that they send straight to their buyers. It's like giving them a mini loan officer in their pocket. Available 24/7, fully loaded, and branded with your name and their trust. Buyers can self-diagnose, compare loan programs, check real numbers, search properties, and explore down payment assistance without blowing you up at 10 p.m. And the best part? You see everything, every scenario, every lead, every milestone. You're looped in the whole way. LoanBot isn't a widget. It's the referral machine you've been waiting for. Here's the deal. Your realtors can get it from us directly for $9.99 a month. But it'd be in your best interest if they got it from you. Either way, they're going to get it. White labeled, co-branded, transparent, and more.
Sign up for your demo with our team of innovators.